It was him. I just knew I had to say yes. I had always wanted a family. I was hitting a certain age and thought it was time that I explore my options. I have a friend that was going through foster. He had gone through Child Crisis Arizona and said, you have to go with Child Crisis because they're the perfect fit for you. When I was really ready, which you're never really ready. Anyone who has kids knows you're never really ready for your first kid, but at some point it was just, let's do it. And once I did it, he was there. A caseworker comes out with him. And I looked because I was told he's a month old, and he was the tiniest little thing. He was malnourished. He was neglected. I remember the pediatrician making a comment about how almost emaciated he was. And it just broke my heart. When we went back the next month for a checkup, they had said, look how much he's filled in. You wouldn't even know. He boom, turned right around. But seeing him like that was really difficult. He needed to be loved in a way that he couldn't have been loved before. He just wasn't receiving what he needed. And that's why he was with me. And that was it. It was just he and I from there on. I'm his person. That's us in a nutshell. He's become my mini-me. I've had him from the beginning. I've had him from 5 weeks. That's newborn, practically. He's the most incredible. I don't even know what to say. I mean, he's my son. He's my son. He went from becoming a child that I was just making sure was safe to being mine. And it's a little surreal to think about sometimes. Brixton is love. I could be having the hardest day. And he just comes up and hugs you. That's love. Adoption day wasn't a big deal to us. It was almost just another day for us because we were already a family.
I don't remember much. I just remember never really seeing my biological mother. I never really knew my dad. When I did see him, it was very scary experiences, and I just remember all of my siblings being taken one by one, so I was obviously very scared and very worried. I was not in the right position mentally to just stay there and age out.
For my entire life, I have wanted to be a mom.
We were going through infertility, and foster or adoption was on our minds.
I didn't realize that I needed a stable home until I was about 13, and I hadn't talked to my biological mother, and I was just like, okay, I need something. I just need somebody who's gonna, I know I can trust, and I know is gonna be there for me.
We had told our friends that we wanted to foster, and so many of them were like, oh, use an agency. Child Crisis knew what they were doing. At 9:30, I got a phone call, and they were like, would you like to meet a girl that would like to be adopted? And I was like, yes, I would.
We set up a meet. We met her. And
meeting Arian for the first time, I felt like this is what moms feel like. I instantly loved Arian. It's really hard not to love Arian.
When we went to Texas Roadhouse, I was just like, we can actually talk. It was going smoothly, and I was just like, this is right.
When we were going through infertility, I had been really sad because my house was so quiet. And so, in simple terms, Arian has brought life into our home. And no one knows how far
she's a lot like me, which means we butt heads, but that's fine. I just think she's a great kid.
In the beginning, it was just friends and fun. Now it's mother-daughter, and there's some bickering, and there's some rolling of eyes, but wouldn't trade it for the world.
It feels so good to know that you actually have somebody there for you who actually cares about you. I'm still getting used to that, and it's really nice to have people that care.
That part of her journey in life ended. She's no longer in foster care. She's no longer needing to go from home to home, family to family.
She inspires me every day, like, just to know, like, what she's gone through, I can go through a fraction of what she has.
I still wake up and I'm just like, this has to be a dream.
I had looked into fostering. I took off some time and I went to Africa for a month. We worked with underprivileged children. It was the best experience. And I thought, what am I waiting for? Why don't I do this back home? So when you go into something and you don't really know what to expect, it's a little overwhelming sometimes. And I had a great experience with Child Crisis Arizona. The first word that pops into my mind is honest, because that was part of my trepidation, was just, what am I getting myself into? I was calling my specialist saying, okay, I think I'm ready to help a child. Absolutely love him, but it was hard. Jaden was 3 years old. This was a kid who had been through so much trauma in his life so early on, doesn't understand, why he's been taken out of, a home where, he was very connected with his family. I asked my other son, I said, how about you give him a tour of the house? And he shows him his room first, of course. And Jaden looks at me and says, where's my room? And I said, oh, let me show you. So we went and looked at his room and he loved it. He went from, when he first came to live with me, he had these big emotions. Now, he came with a lot of anger and a lot of fear. And I'm not gonna tell you that all of those are gone, but if you could see the child, 3-year-old that I brought home and the 6-year-old that he is today, it's absolutely amazing the growth that he's had. I think when you have gone through something as big as he has, feeling normal is one of the coolest things you can have. When he thinks about his childhood, I want him to remember the good things and the happiness that he had, at least while, after we met. We went to the beach, and I have the best video of him and his brother inching in the sand at the sunset, afraid but so excited, like giggling to touch the water, and the waves are crashing in and they back up a little bit, and I'm saying, go. And they get up there and this big wave comes in and they just erupt in laughter. Anytime I'm having a bad day, I just watch that video and it just reminds me it's all worth it. I'm really grateful for Child Crisis Arizona.